Nothing beautiful comes without pain. What do I mean by that? Can you see me? All right, so I was reading this book called The Book of Joy, and I was out by the pool. That's why my shirt's off. Just took a shower. So the description was nothing beautiful comes without some pain. And then it was describing how childbirth, obviously a lot of pain. But usually you ask a woman who's gone through it, after she's gone through it, usually the memory of it isn't so bad. So I'm like putting things into perspective. I think I heard something today that we're in a spiritual simulation. And that is my actual belief. That's what I think is happening. So I look at obviously I look at my life, but I look at the lives of the people around me and what they're going through. And I feel like a lot of global politics and um, economy and all this shit, it's clearly just made to distract you. So I was always thinking, what's the purpose of this? Like in the news yesterday, they had Kamala Harris, who's running for president, um, giving a speech, and then some MAGA people, I put it in quotes because it's clearly people they hired, disrupt it, and she had the perfect quip, and it's like, look at this person who's had 4 years to show us how witty she is. She never showed it once. She was always kind of like the least prepared, like nonsensical circle talking person, and all of a sudden, I have the perfect thing to say, and the news picks it up, and then everybody on Reddit is just verbally sucking her dick. They keep telling, and the first thing on Reddit today is that Justin Trudeau says Tucker Carlson and Jordan Peterson uh, work for Russia, and that might be true. But was there any question that Justin Trudeau is working for somebody? You know, so I hate even absorbing this shit. I'm gonna make like a uh, concerted effort just to not pay attention to any global politics. This is part of the reason I don't have social media, but further distance myself. Like, there's nothing. I shouldn't be looking at memes even. Like, this is the next thing. It's getting too much of my attention, and although I dismiss it and think it's clearly just rehearsed bullshit. It's not something that I give much energy to, but I'm still giving energy to it. I don't want to hear about it. But it makes sense if this is a spiritual simulation, you get distracted by these things. Now, I'll give an example is that lots of people hate Donald Trump. That seems like a waste of time. It seems to make him more powerful. So when you hate something, you're you're creating first of all, you're creating bad chemicals in your body. So it doesn't have to be spiritual, but then you are sending bad energy towards that person. And then it's the same idea when you worship false idols. Like this is why it when I dated someone very religious, it was bizarre to me that um, their whole family is like obsessed with every sports event and watches everything. It's like, where's the jersey and all this stuff? It's like you don't even wear a Jesus jersey. What is all that? Isn't this idol worship? How do you separate yourself from that? So I look at the thing. I don't want to give specific examples. I look at the things that people go through, and then I look at the things that I've been through in order to make me conscious. It was profound pain. It was repetitive, profound pain until I realized that I'm somehow doing this to myself. And what if everybody is doing, we all have our own individual universe where we're creating heaven and hell, mostly hell. I was just watching an interview with Dr. Gabor Mate, and he was saying 70% of adults in the US are on some type of medication. And it's like something like 50% are on two medications or more. Sick society. And what makes us sick is our thoughts. So look at what you're absorbing. So what we absorb, we become. And when we have like toxic, obviously news and blah blah blah, but also our friends and family, because they are products of that. So their fears, their doubts, their limiting beliefs get absorbed by us before we know what we're doing, and we live with this, what I would call emptiness. I'd say like growing up, when I was in first grade, I remember thinking that when I get older, that I want to drive a Ferrari and date a model, and I have a minimum of $1,000 in my pocket. And uh, having done those things, like it looks like that would make you happy if you don't have it. And I don't remember consciously saying I need to do this, I need to do this as an adult. But having done those things kind of on accident, none of those really felt fulfilling. It didn't feel fulfilling. What felt fulfilling was going on my spiritual journey, which of course came with a lot of pain and betrayal and a lot of bullshit. Now the thing is that I started this saying my alchemical journey. This is my story. These are my thoughts and opinions and how I'm trying to analyze the world I live in and the things I've gone through, where I've been, where I'm going. But now as I'm doing it, I'm watching other people go through theirs. And of course I have thoughts and opinions of how things will turn out, because how would I not? The wind was kicking up outside and moving something. But based on what I think the hero's journey is for each human being, based on the individual obstacles we have that we have to face, I can see how the things that other people are going through are going to turn out. So I think in the last one I brought up a friend who his girlfriend held a secret for a year and a half, and that secret affects his life and his future, whether they stay together or not. And I have to be purposely vague. Um, and he doesn't want to leave. He says he loves her and he wants to stay with her. From my perspective, what I see into it is that it's already over and he just can't accept it. And even if he stays, it will eventually end anyways. That's what I see based on what happened to me when I was in something similar. Not similar, but energetically somehow similar. Like even she has some traits of the ex that betrayed me. I'm specifically thinking of the girl that had a double life, a secret family. It was a year and a half. I found out after a year and a half. So it's like weird parallels. So how am I not like, am I psychic? No, I'm just observing patterns. And these patterns, to me, it seemed obvious. To me, I'm looking into other people's lives like, oh, this is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And then I guess the problem is I have no patience for it. Would to just go here. So I feel like I feel pretty restless. Like I know change is coming, and I just want change to happen. It's like, all right, let's just fucking get to the point. Let's clear the board and start over. And I guess it doesn't work that way. And I suppose the longer it takes, the more I second guess my intuition on and my pattern recognition. So, in the case of someone I care about deeply, when I met them, they were firmly unconscious, and I think by force I tried to make them conscious. Don't you fucking see? It's you, bitch. You can't shake them anymore. That's why I bought a car from the 50s, is I remember a time where you could. There's an interview with Sean Connery where they asked him if it's okay to hit women. And this isn't funny at all. And he said, you shouldn't like abuse them, but every now and then you give them a slap. I only know that because Bill Burr said it. So I haven't seen the interview. But what a hilarious thing to say. Imagine if he said that today. He's dead, so he can't. But it was a different time. A much simpler life. All right. Abuse is bad, always. I heard something else, speaking of abuse, that the collective is going through, where now is coming out how men or boys are being abused by other men or their teachers or whatever the fuck. And it's an interesting thing that's now coming to, now like it's always been happening, but now it's getting attention. I don't know where to put that, but um, I look at, I try to zoom out as much as possible. Like, what the fuck's happening? What's happening here? What's happening with me? What happens with other people? I feel like I feel energetically stuck. Like I had two jobs today, and one was canceled, one was postponed. So I feel like I'm just forced to sit with my thoughts, and I want nothing more to escape than to escape that. So here is journal time. So, ow. I had now it's a call to do work. I bet I'm not picking up. I left the house the other day, and I kept seeing 444. And when I went to the gym, I saw someone who I journaled about, someone who like narked on me. I called him TMZ, and he apologized to me, and he said he sees what I was talking about now. And he said some other weird stuff, which I don't really understand, but he's moving away to get away from the energy. Um, so I think maybe in one of these, I said something's going to happen where he'll see it, and then that happened. Like without, he said I was hoping. Actually, I walked into the gym at 4:44. So when I opened the door, and then saw him 2 minutes later, and he came up to me. He's like, "I manifested you. I was hoping I'd run into you in person so I could tell you I didn't want to text it or tell you on the phone." Um, Probably worried that I'll narc on him, but uh, you know, everything happens for a reason. I'm not upset, but he was telling me um, that the energy in that group is so bad that he thinks someone's going to get murdered. And I don't think anyone has done anything so egregious that they're going to get killed for it. Um, but one of the guys in the group, uh, people kicked down his door and robbed him, and he lives at home with his family. Another three dudes. So it's like, I mean, these guys have to be targeted by their social media posts. And I was just thinking, should I start social media again and start pushing my products and like put myself out there? Maybe say something. Maybe like positive message, whatever. But I think the whole thing is poison, and I'd rather make less money and not risk anything spiritually or physically. Um, the other thing made me think that is I ran into someone um, at my orthodontist appointment who I met at a wedding like 10 years ago. And I was telling her, like, yeah, you can't find me on social media. I don't exist there. Um, I don't want to. I live like it's the 90s and it's the most liberating thing. I can I can put my phone down and when I get home from work, turn it off if I want. Who else could do that? I was thinking just with email. Before there was email, it was so hard to get an instant response from somebody. You'd call their house phone, it would ring if they weren't home, or you get an answering machine. It would record on tape, and then the tape would finish. Then no more voicemails. We keep thinking technology's made things easier, but we are further enslaved, I think. I feel like now you don't have an 8 hour workday. You're working all the time, and then the rest of the time you're numbing yourself, which I don't think is living. Which is why I feel like now that probably because of the election, the economy is on hold and work is slow, and I'm like, what do I do with all this extra time now that I was working or at least going to work? Um, I imagine it's happening for a reason, and I keep trying to get sun and trying to like meditate and try to figure out what's the thing. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. Uh, so I see, as I said, I see patterns in other people's lives, and I try to see the trajectory. And usually people don't change unless they get profoundly hurt, um, which is why we go through it. It's in this book. I think it was chapter 2. Nothing beautiful comes without some suffering. Nothing beautiful comes out with some suffering. So there's two types of suffering. They were talking about like when you get shot with an arrow, and then when you think about it, that's shooting yourself with a second arrow. And I, and probably most people, do more of the second, um, and keep shooting arrows to enhance the suffering, which I imagine is for a reason. And I guess that's where I'm at. Is like, okay, so what's the point? What's the reason? What am I alchemizing? So uh, I try not to talk about my most recent ex because I want to respect her privacy and stuff. And and I suppose there's some fear about us never talking again. So I feel really close to that person, but I knew when we met that she needs to go through a dark night of the soul, which obviously happens alone. And then I knew that uh, part of her anger with me was projecting and mirroring, and her fear of not being enough or being yeah not good enough. I think it's a subconscious fear she has which again, I don't want to, I feel bad for saying this out loud, but this is the point of me journaling is I'm processing my world, like risking being authentic in an inauthentic world. Who cares? Um, it's just me refreshing the page, anyways. Nobody watches this shit. So, um, in her case, I tried really hard while we were together to try, like, I tried everything I thought I could, and I made a conscious effort to try to like meet her at her level, essentially lower my vibration, and then show her that there's a way out. It's like I was you, I understand. This is how I did it. Come with me. And I just got resistance. I mean, she looked at me like I was trying to kill her. And when I let go of that and just showed unconditional love, uh, initially it was like, okay, you need to have your ducks in a row before you approach me because I date with intention. I'm a serious person, and I don't think she had ever dated seriously. Um, that's the feeling I get. And how do you know if someone's worth that effort? And a lot of false starts. So by the time we actually started, it's like we already had a lot of fights. Like there was like it was very strange, very strange way to start a relationship. But I wouldn't have ever given it a second thought if I didn't have my spiritual vision, my spiritual intuition, in which I recognized that uh, whatever pain she harbors is the same one that I grew up with, that I had my whole life, and that I just recently started to get past. And although she never showed, I'm sure she never showed anybody how sweet she really is and how loving and caring she actually is. There's a lot of barriers. I was joking around with her, like, I've never worked so hard to get so little. And of course, like, if you go see a therapist or just regular psychology that's not Jungian based, it's like, oh, this is an abusive relationship, and this is a narcissist, and this is and as I was processing it, I was thinking, okay, through the material lens, I see that it mimics a lot of the things that I've been through already. They say no man steps into the same river twice because it's not the same river and he's not the same man. So initially I had fear. Well, I had an intuition that it would end no matter what I did and that I would be the bad guy. Surprise. And of course that happened. And she called me out. She said that I made that happen. I was like, no, I can just see who you are. And it didn't occur to me that I was projecting anything. And she started analyzing my projections, and I was like, that's you. And I was like, fuck, is it me? And then I went, like, in our absence from each other's lives, then I started to realize what I was doing. And then the next time we were on speaking terms, um, instead of withholding doing what she was doing, instead of withholding myself, I was like, you deserve love no matter what. You don't have to act right. You don't have to do what I want. It's like you get love in whatever form that is, as friends, in friendship, whatever. And then we became close, closer than ever before. And I think there's a little bit of fear associated with that, like being too exposed. And then there's also fear, I think, since we met, that if she felt strongly about me, the fear of losing me would be like uh, insurmountable. But then it's a self fulfilling prophecy. It's a weird thing. So I had those same thoughts. I was like, what's the fucking worst that happens? I'll learn something. Why am I afraid to? I notice people do this. It's like they'll talk shit about their partner or they'll talk bad about them behind their back because they're afraid of being abandoned by them. And then they're afraid of looking stupid for loving them. And it's a stupid impulse, and it's an exclusively human thing because it's a beautiful and noble thing to open up. It's a very hard thing to do because people suck, and a lot of people are out to hurt. Ask me how I know. But that doesn't mean we should stop showing love or that we should be afraid to show love. Um, I still have love for the people that hurt me. As such, I didn't kill them. Um, so, in the case with my ex, like love her profoundly. If we were just friends, we're great friends. If we can't be in each other's lives, that's understandable, and I accept and will live a full life without. But I recognize, like I journaled about it. It's like if twin flames or whatever is a thing, like I recognize myself in that person. It's the first time that's ever happened. It's not just like an attraction to her physical appearance or something. And I certainly hope that I'm not so retarded still that I'm attracted to something that will give me the pain I had as a kid. But that very much does exist um, as a possibility. So I'm watching her go through her alchemical journey. Well, now from afar, I don't actually know what's happening, but like while we were in contact last, it seemed like she was about to have an ego death. She was about to go on her individuation journey, which is stepping into her power and establishing that regardless of cultural norms, regardless of expectations from friends or family or even herself, that the idea of happiness um, is not ever what we thought it was. And it's always some far off, we usually put it somewhere far in the future. Like as a kid, when I said I want a Ferrari and money and date a model and stuff like that, it's like, it's forever away. Like, what percentage of people get to do that? And then doing it, I don't care if I have any of those things now. I happen to have them, but uh, there's no joy in it. There's no fulfillment, like getting the thing. So, uh, in my journey, my self worth and my goals, desires, everything was physical. Attain this physical thing. So get my education and get this much money and get this. You have to appear this way, whatever. And you have to do it to know. So there's some things that uh, this person has done that have obviously hurt me. Um, but I know she doesn't know. And probably when she does, she'll feel a lot of guilt. But I had to go through the things that I went through to understand that a lot of pain that people cause to us is a projection of their fear. and hating them in return is not doing anything for either party. So I told her she has the right to figure out her life. Like I won't hold anything against her as she discovers as she goes on her path of individuation. So we're not on speaking terms, and I care greatly about this person. But I knew from the beginning. I called it. I said how far we were away from seeing eye to eye. It's like you need your heart broken twice at least, and you need to go on this inward journey, which can't happen with me because. And that's the other thing is I feel like the purpose of my pain was to create a healer, an alchemist for other people. Like, what's the point of going through it if I don't help the suffering in the world? But the suffering is necessary. So my mistake has always been that I'm trying to prevent suffering. And the suffering is the main component for success. My own suffering included. So suffering is part of it. We need suffering. That's why the world, like, why does God do this? It's like it's the only way we register it. It's the only thing that makes us change. When things are going right, you ain't changing shit. You're not looking inside and being like, how can I fix this? If I was making money this week, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I'd be busy doing that. So why is God doing this to me? I have bills to pay. I have car parts to buy. What the fuck? It's me. This is a spiritual world giving me a spiritual lesson, and I need to figure out what that shit is. And other than fucking mushrooms, this is how I do it. And I'm sorry for saying fuck. I really have to try. I think I haven't improved myself in a while. Like I've been coasting. I think it's another thing I need to do is start to, you know, I don't imagine if I become a father in the future that I'll be cursing in front of my kids. So why am I doing it now? I have this problem with feeling like I'm being inauthentic. And I think the true spiritual path isn't me becoming Jesus or Buddha, it's me being me. There's a guy on YouTube named Bashar. He's always mm-hmm. Yes, this is why I'm bald. And not interested. Joe Dispenza, fuck you, I don't want to hear it. I feel like these people are trying to present, like, why do I have to call him Dr. Joe Dispenza if he's a chiropractor? You didn't go to fucking real school, you fuck. Fuck. What am I supposed to say there? You see the problem? There's this dichotomy. Am I being inauthentic if I stop cussing? Because it's part of me. It's part of my authenticity. I don't want to sit in the woods or in a cave and meditate and whatever the fuck. I want to be here in the world, not in this Swedish prison, but like, I still want to be me. So because people do this false light thing, all the religious people that tried to tell me how to get to God and stuff like that are like I'd pay attention. Oh, I don't curse. And then they're fucking babies. Maybe that's not exactly what happened, but or they're secretly gay, or there's always some. So like I feel like my ability to look like who I am and still be a spiritual person and act how I act, that's the true spirituality. I just talked myself out of not cussing. Fuck you. Um, anyways, uh, I feel like I've been stuck. I think a lot about uh, what's going on with Homegirl because I've never seen this before. I've never sparked someone's consciousness before through love. Like what a amazing, like whatever happens, fucking cool, dude. Like Like, I don't need anything out of it. Like, if that was the purpose of us meeting, God bless you. Hope she has a great life. But um, I live in a different world than everybody else. There is a meaning behind everything. I know that. Chance is a name for Allah not recognized. So everything's happening for a reason. I drive myself crazy trying to figure out the reason because there's whatever intelligence runs the world, whatever you want to call it, God or source or the all or fucking Buhula Mula, it has intelligence or knowledge that I do not have. Although I am part of this divine creator, so I have a little bit of it. So my attempt to decode the world I live in and understand patterns and trajectory and meaning, extract meaning behind pain. So I think while I was still on speaking terms with my ex, I wrote her like a letter of what I think is about to happen, and I talked about how uh, we're gonna go no contact, and then have a brief period where we can talk again, and then go no contact again because she has to. This part of her journey she has to do without me specifically, um, to decide who she is and what she wants and how things work. I can keep telling her, and that's not doing her any favors. Pain. So hopefully there's pain in separating from me. I hope she's dying. Fuck her. But I hope that what comes from it is what's supposed to come from it. What else can I hope for? In the interim, I have pain. It's incredibly hard for me to. It is. I do feel like a father who is. It's like my kids away from home for the first time, or doing something on their own that might be dangerous. I have this like anxiety, and I have to keep convincing myself to trust God, which was the last thing. It's like I surrender. Like I know God has it handled. Um, but I drive myself crazy. Think of scenarios of what what this is, what that is, how this will happen. This is what she'll see. This is what she'll understand. She's trying to attain self worth externally. If she thinks that if she does this thing, it will silence the voice that says you're not good enough, and that's not what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. It's going to feel empty. It's going to feel meaningless. It's going to blah blah blah. And then she goes inside, and then she figures it out, and then you know, like this is not what I think. It's what I know. But the world around me doesn't reflect that, and because it doesn't reflect that, or I don't know, uh, I question my entire worldview. I feel disconnected. And the same thing with my friend. Like he was asking me like, what would you do? And I was like, no matter what I say, you're gonna stay. Like you wouldn't be asking me if he assumed I was gonna say fuck off, leave the bitch. Um, but just like a father, I have to just be supportive. It's like whatever you decide to do, but this is what I think is gonna happen. I think I think he thinks he's in love, and he's gonna try to save it. The trust is gone. Trust shouldn't have been there. Wasn't a trustworthy person, and a person who's willing to lie to you every day for a year and a half, especially something that affects the rest of your life, is a dangerous person. That is a dangerous person. So I I expressed I expressed it in the past. This is what I see. Do what you want to do, and he has to do it. My ex has to do what she's doing, and there's no. I mean, there's no reason for me to have a feeling attached to that. It's like, I know this is how it works. Why am I? Oh, but I'm not important, and I'm What if? What if? What if? Fucking so what? Who cares? It's a spiritual world, so I know that I've done everything right by my I'm honoring myself, my integrity by setting a boundary. Like I'm not reaching out to say, "Hey, are you okay?" and "Is everything fine?" And I found out stuff about things that might affect your like you figure it out, and once you figure it out, you match my vibration this time. I can't keep going down to meet you there. I'm tired. Um, yeah, but that's how it's supposed to work. Like I've done my work. Not that I'm not that I'm finished, but you're never finished, and I'm not better than anybody. But I do feel like the lessons that people around me are learning, although my lesson looks energetically similar, I know that I'm on a different level of this game, and I've never met anyone who's at my level or past where I'm at. Uh, I've just had a different life experience than anybody. I wish I knew somebody who had exactly my life experience and could tell me what's happening and what to expect. But at the same time, that person would know they can't tell me. That would affect what I do and how I learn, if I learn. Maybe that's why I don't have an alchemist teacher. I just create one out of thin air myself. Please, someone edit a smoke pellet there. I tried to slice an apple the other day. I've never seen someone do it actually, and it was a mess. And I realized it's like I don't have to learn how to do this now. I could just buy an apple slicer, and that's what I did. It'll be perfect, and I will eat incrementally in equal bites instead of a big chunk, a chunk with a seed in it, and a little sliver of see-through piece. I don't like doing domestic stuff. Look at where my head's at. I have to think about the big picture. I can't slow down. I murdered something yesterday. I'm really ashamed. I'm sorry. There was a I go to the bathroom. It's over there. I come out and there's a massive black. I mean, massive. This spider, black. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't know how you got here without me seeing. Like maybe it was under the door, and when I opened the door, it kind of dragged. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, you can't be here, but I can't kill you because God made you. So I'm like looking around, like do a vacuum or something, like I can put it on or like suck it up and throw it outside. And then I open the door and just try to shoo it into the garage, like go be in there at least. And then it started panicking, and I was like, oh, I can't have that. So I, sorry, little buddy, threw it in the toilet and flushed, and he went for a swim. And I'm sorry, God, but I saw the movie Arachnophobia, and a panicked spider is a very disturbing thing to watch. There's one on fire coming at you. Can you imagine? Um, I think my brother still calls my mom to kill spiders for him. Just insert a jab right there. So, uh, the alchemical journey. I was like, I started talking about my alchemical journey, and this is what I'm going through, and this is how I see the world, and this is what I'm experiencing. But it includes there's so many varied characters in my life that are going through so many different things, and I'm analyzing it through a different lens because of my experiences, because of my knowledge, wisdom. Um, and it's a fucking burden, honestly. It's a burden because if I can see what's going to happen and I'm right, I just have to watch people just go through hell. And if I'm wrong, that means there's an aspect that I'm not seeing, which I suppose isn't scary, but it's maybe that's why I feel stuck. I'm supposed to learn another aspect. There's another component that eludes me. I've been going to gym twice a day, and I feel like I should look better than I do. I'm not eating that much. I had Cheesecake Factory, and it just made my cheeks puffy. I didn't get any like size. It's because I wanted carbs. Um, I don't know what's up with like irresponsible dog owners. I was at the pool and someone had a puppy that just it ran up to me and was just losing its mind barking. I was like, at what point are you gonna grab your little rat? It's obviously like afraid or whatever, but this isn't responsible. If the dog is afraid of everything, you're doing something wrong. If this dog barks at every fucking thing, maybe they like that because it's a guard dog or whatever, but he's not guarding the front door. He's on the balcony just telling everybody "fuck you" who walks by. Um, but I'm an asshole too. My cars are loud. Well, I made it quieter. I was considerate, somewhat. I try not to drive a loud car at night. Um, yeah, I feel weirdly stuck because I feel like I know what's going to happen, and then I also have fear of it not happening. And then when I think about what am I actually afraid of, I'm like, well, I'm not actually afraid of that. It's like a programmed fear because I have the knowledge that there is a higher power, that there's a God, that there's something planned for me that is, I'm supposed to have everything. I'm not supposed to settle. So whatever I'm holding on to, uh, I could be wrong. I accept that. Um, and to be fair, I haven't been waiting long. It's been a couple weeks, but it's driving me fucking nuts not knowing. So I look for signs everywhere. That's why I'm constantly like, where's the sign? Where's the sign? Where's the sign? And I suppose every day I see like positive signs, but so like I saw 888 today, driving home from the gym, and nothing happened. I didn't make money today. So it makes me think that I fucked something up. Am I doing something wrong? I keep I'm at that point again. It's like I'm doing something wrong. I need to figure out what so that life flows again. What is it? Let go of expectations. Okay, done. Be a good human being. Okay, am I not taking care of something? Am I supposed to do something I haven't done? Because whether there's an election or not, I should still have work. It's been a down economy all year, and I've had a great year. So there's something energetically stuck. I do feel like socially, like things are going well, even though I don't want to hang out with anyone or do anything. Um, like if I'm at a light, so like the people next to me smile at me. It's just weird. Uh, People ask me, random people feel comfortable coming up to me asking questions, which I'm not sure I like, but energetically, I feel like I'm in a good place, or if I look approachable, I must be doing something better. But something's wrong. Something's wrong, and I know it. I've been getting kind of upset when people do the wrong thing when I'm driving, and I that's a good litmus test to know if I'm off balance because I'm a great driver, but I fuck up too sometimes. Sometimes I'm doing something that someone else could freak out about, driving fast or not using my blinker or whatever. And then I expect people to forgive me for when I'm an asshole, and I should forgive them for when they are. So what is the thing? I legit thought I was like, okay, I have to stop cussing. That must be the thing. Maybe I can try it for a week. I don't know why that's so hard. Why that of all things? The things that I've been able to quit, other men are astonished. They don't believe me. And maybe my cursing is my fear of coming off inauthentic. If the wall pops, does that mean I was correct? It's like a spiritual nod. Can I still be authentic and not cuss? My stomach growled. Am I hungry? I don't think so. Um, all right. Well, it's been long enough, I think. Um, the people in my life and orbit that are going through hard times, I sincerely wish them the best. Send my love and support. I'm always here. If, people know that. Here if they need me. And it's weird to know that sometimes the best way to help someone is not help them. Interesting, like dichotomy there. But it's the truth. It says so in every spiritual book and teaching that I've heard. I forgot to talk about the full moon. The only thing that I noticed with the full moon is I didn't sleep. But like I woke up at 2 in the morning and I had restless sleep all night. I was sweating. Last night was kind of hot too, but I have my AC super cold. Fuck that dog. And I don't know if it's from the moon or because I ate Cheesecake Factory. That for sure, my body feels like it's fighting something. The Cheesecake Factory, nuclear food. I have chicken piccata, and legit, my mouth smells like butter. It doesn't matter what I do afterwards. It's like 24 hours. You ever eat a hot dog and like 3 days later you burp and you're like, that's fucking gross. Cheesecake Factory. Um, yeah, I guess that's all. I didn't notice, but I would say if it's a spiritual world, um, the movement of celestial bodies, it makes sense that they pull on us in different ways and we're each going through something similar. So I would say in my orbit, people are all going through something, some kind of transition. Also, with the seasons changing, that makes sense as well. I'm trying to observe if there's a pattern. It was a full moon in Aries, and it was the largest full moon of the year. And just when I was out and about, I heard people talking about it. So I imagine maybe things are happening that I don't see, but uh, I wonder. So in my friend's case, probably this is the last thing I'll say. In my friend's case, I asked him if this secret about his girlfriend, if this is a test of his resolve or a chance that the universe is giving him to escape that he's not taking, which he won't take. And the way I see it is, I've had several of those when I was in his position. I had several. When someone tries to break a glass over your head at a wedding, it's a red flag. She's just upset. Um, Overhand too. Like she's trying to dunk on me. I just swatted it away and it broke. Do you want to hear the story? So, uh, the ex that was hiding a secret family. I was supposed to go to Europe for a friend's wedding, and coincidentally, my family was going to Europe a week earlier. So I was supposed to go for 3 weeks. She said, I can't leave for 3 weeks because she had fucking kids. And she wouldn't tell me why she couldn't. She's like, I can go for a week. So, and then for some reason I couldn't go. I wasn't allowed to live my life. So I flew her, I paid for it, and then meet my parents, or I think my brother and my dad and their significant others in Italy, and then went to Malta for this wedding. And I was with a big group of friends, obviously, so it was like a lot of fun, I thought. And then uh, I forget we're at it's a several day event wedding. So one day we were supposed to go to like an island pool party, and my ex, uh, Nifany, uh, was drinking and got mad at me for something. And then I was like, I'm here for my friend's wedding. If you want to be upset, that's on you. I'm with my friends, I'm going to have fun. So I think at the pool, she started flirting with other guys. And I was making it obvious that it doesn't bother me. You can do that if you want. And then I started talking to someone else that was there. Not like that, but I was talking to everybody. Honestly, it was totally innocent. And now that I think of it, I don't know if it was innocent on that side. On my side, it was innocent. I knew that I brought a demon with me. Um, the whole day she's ignoring me, going out of her way to like try to, play games or whatever, piss me off by flirting with random like Serbian men. I was like, go take her, go, go. I saw the movie Taken. She's ready. You don't have to pay her. She'll enjoy it. Um, End of the night, we're all sitting in the hotel lobby. We're all having a drink, and then she's staring at me, and I'm just living my life. I have my girl's best friend, who eventually I dated. Oops. And then someone else, just another person. She happened to be a girl from the wedding, and we're saying something maybe in Farsi. And she gets up. She walks to this girl and says, I think I should sit next to my boyfriend. And this poor girl laughs nervously, like she could recognize crazy. And she gets up and fucks off. And then she just sits at me staring like this. And I was like, is she still there? And she's like, we need to go upstairs and talk. I'm talking right now with my friends. You can talk right here. No, we need to go upstairs right now. Like, all right. So I like down my drink. Probably not a good idea. And my friend says, tell yourself the truth. I don't know what the fuck that meant. I think she wanted me to dump her. So we get in the elevator, door shuts, she starts yammering, and I'm sitting there like, I like, I skipped half my vacation. I flew you out here. You can't fucking like behave. Like, give me the minimum amount of respect here. It's like you're not my slave, but what the fuck? Why are you ruining my life? The doors open. We start walking, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not doing this with you anymore. It's like we're not together. And tried to dunk on me, and it just boop, it bursts, and she fucking screams like a banshee. And I turned into Larry of Mice and Men, and shut the fuck up. And like she's trying to get attention. Nothing fucking happened to her. She nothing happened. Legitimately, she tried to assault me. It broke and it scared her. Um, and then I get her into the room. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Everybody's doors open to see what the fuck's because they hear a crash and then they hear a woman scream. It sounds like a murder. I wish, but I text my friend and the groom. I'm like, 911, come upstairs right now. And then they separate us. It's like, okay, like for tonight. This is such a stupid. Like, why did I ever put up with this? I should have fucking left her right there. Like I said, my friend just like me, too nice. So I couldn't stay in my own fucking room. I had to go stay with like the girls' room, which was not so bad. They were all my friends. And then she was saying that her hand's bleeding. She's like, "Oh, some glass got stuck in my hand, and I'm going to call the police, and you're going to get arrested right now." And I was like, "You try like, what did I do? The fuck?" And then one of the girls was a nurse, so she went over there. I was like, "Hey," she said she has glass or anything, which I can. She wouldn't show her, so obviously there's fucking nothing happened to her. She just made this shit up. And then the next day, we go on a boat, like a just go on a boat, like a it looked like a pirate ship or something. No, it was a regular boat. I forgot. I just had a boat day, and then when we get back to dock, the whole time I'm like, fuck her, I'm fucking over it. She like went and got her nails done and was waiting at the dock for me. I was like, when I saw her, I got like my heart dropped. I was like, oh fuck, she's gonna finish the job, and then acted like nothing happened. No apology, mind you. Acted like nothing happened, and then the next day was the wedding, and just swept it under the rug. And yeah, there was many like there was many times that I had warnings. That's not even a warning. Like I can't believe that I put up with that. And obviously, because I saw that, because I lived through that, the consequences like my fuse is very short for putting up with attitude and bullshit and childish behavior because it's just you give into it. This happens. So my tolerance level is almost nothing. Even though I'm a calm person and it takes a lot to rile me up, that and that is not an isolated incident by the way. So other times she tried to kill me, but there was always this empathy in me that overrided the you know I felt bad for her that she was so hurt that she just needs to hurt me, and that obviously got me hooked in this narcissistic abuse cycle. And then of course like shows you a little bit of love, and then when she takes it away it's your fault. That's the real me, but I won't give you that because you don't deserve it, because you didn't say bless you when I sneezed. And everything that I've ever done, there's a list. Everything that she's done, doesn't remember. The story of my life. Um, and yeah, I, you know, the Japanese have this type of art where they rebuild pottery that's been broken with gold, and it makes it more valuable than it was before. And it's like it's a metaphor essentially. But if you keep breaking it, no one's putting it. The whole thing would just have to be made of gold, and there ain't enough. This bowl's broken. Trash. Put it in the trash. Um, at the year and a half mark, I found out about her kids, and I knew that it was the end. I knew it was the end when it started. I couldn't do it. I can't explain. I'm a different person now. Uh, I couldn't. I couldn't accept it. And even though I was accepting such shitty treatment all around, like what was I holding on to? It's so weird. It's bizarre to look back. It's like what the fuck? But there was a lesson that I was refusing to learn, and it happened through pain. And she, that person was very into needing external validation. So like her face is completely different today than when we started dating. Trying to change herself and mold herself to be whatever the standard of beauty is now. And whoever that person is at the center um, is now erased, is gone. There's no, there's nothing that remains of that person except the pain, and it comes out in weird ways. Like that lady is a banshee, is a siren, is a energy vampire, is whatever that shit is. That's that. And just like my dream with a siren dragging me to hell, my last my last ditch effort was to show it compassion as it's killing me, trying to kill me. And that has been a recurring theme. So it's in my head, I'm like, am I doing the same thing? Because initially, when I met this most recent ex, I was like, she holds her pain. Her pain is the truth, and that's dangerous. I see what that becomes. I become the enemy, and then it's totally valid to treat me like shit or not do anything, like not even show me love. And I saw that and I cut it off. It's not my responsibility. I'm not able to fix anybody. I don't need to go through this. I saw it and I cut it off. And I can't explain why it feels like synchronicity brought it back. And I have the same question now. When I look at my friend, I'm like, were you given an escape and you didn't take it, or is it a test of your resolve? Because I also see no beautiful thing comes without some suffering. At the very least, energetically, this is different because I believe in my heart this is a good person for once, and I believe when she knows better, she'll do better. And I took it upon myself to try to show her, and I don't regret that. I'll never regret that. That's who I am. And I refuse to believe that God gave me the ability to see and empathize with people's pain and not be able to do anything about it. Anything, even if it's just interacting with me, causes a spark into consciousness, into like, that's where true fulfillment lies. We think like, if I have a big house, a big car, if I have those things, I'll be happy. And I don't know how many billionaires you know, but I've met a few. They're not happy people. Those are probably the least happy people. That's why they keep fucking around with your life. It's the only thing that gives them joy. is taken from you. And then your dumbass worships them. You buy their clothes, you listen to their music. You have Stockholm Syndrome, you fuck. Um, yeah, I, I know that if I had the spiritual knowledge I have now and went into the past and relived those relationships, there would have been signs and synchronicities the whole time, even though it was very obvious. And I can't tell you why I think this is different. And I have no proof that it is, frankly. The only thing that I can say is that time will tell and that God has a plan. So, in either case, I know I'll be fine. I know that God is setting me up for a big win. It only takes things away to set you up in a better place. So, whether that is a reinvented person or a new person, I can't tell you. I wish I knew. But time will tell. And I hope that me doing this journal, first of all, unlocks my fucking stuckness. I don't know what else it could be. Because I feel it. I'm stuck. I'm stuck and I don't know why. And I'm doing almost nothing. So what is it that it could be? So I'm looking at the past and retracing my steps and thinking, did I do everything right? So, like, if for instance, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if I'm supposed to do something or not do something, it should be obvious. Um, if I figure it out, I'll let you know. Rumi said, lose your head. No thread that has a head can go through the eye of a needle. Am I thinking too much? So I think I should just leave. Just lay on a beach somewhere, unplug. Maybe I will. All right, I'm going. I'm going to work out again, and then I'm going to go to dinner. And best of luck to everybody, including me. Sayonara.